Welcome to another episode of the Cities Skylines Podcast, brought to you by Paradox Interactive and Sim Nation. My name is Pablo, and I'm here with this very intellectual person, Jan.
Hello. Intellectual. Since when? This is news to me.
Every week, a new adjective. So yes, Cities Skylines Podcast, where every 2 weeks we wrap up everything that has been going on in the development of Cities Skylines, from the developer diaries, what's going on in the forums, any kind of new stream or video, which there hasn't been. But this week, what we do have is the dev diary about districts and policies, which it is something that we saw already, but this time is more focused on it. It's nice to, take some 10 minutes to talk about it exclusively because it is a core feature of the game. And also we have a couple topics from the community that we want to talk about, that on the Cities Skylines forums. So to kick it off, Jan, what's going on with this districts and policies stuff?
Yeah, we have a dev diary. I've said this before, but it's something we've talked about before up to a degree. We didn't get this much information, but we saw quite a bit of it already in the previous streams, and we did talk about them. But it, as you said, it is a core feature, so I'm fine with it being a specific dev diary. It should be. Basically, they kind of outlined what the districts are at the beginning, and you make districts by basically taking kind of a paint tool and painting them on an area.
Right.
For example, you make a district, a residential district, or an industrial district, or a commercial district, or whatever, how you want it.
And can I step in here?
Yeah.
This has to. They cannot do brushing with this. I implore that they use a snapping tool like the magic brush, if you may, on Photoshop and stuff like that, where it just snaps to roads and stuff like that, because the district is going to eventually grow, and you may forget that you have to keep on brushing to cover all the new areas you make around it. So it'd be nice if you could just make stuff snap, and if it keeps on growing on the sides, it can just autofill and extend that automatically instead of having to precisely draw on it, because I know that OCD people like me are just going to want to make a perfect straight line to define the district and just spend like 10 hours there. But, it'd be nice to have that.
It would. I would like to mention one downside to your plan, and that is that you could eventually get districts where you don't want them if you do them like that.
True, but you can just split them.
I guess. Okay, Pablo. That was just his OCD little rant. It's fine.
Yes.
But yeah, you can make districts. Districts get automatically named, but you can change it at any time. They'll just get named things. I think the one we have here in the picture is named Autumn Square for no reason.
Yeah.
But you can change that. It's perfectly fine. The nice things they did show that we didn't see before is the statistic panel for the districts.
True.
So each district gets its own kind of statistics panel. It tells you if it has an industrial specialization, but it also kind of breaks down what kind of population is in that area and how many of them work and how many households. And I think it also, the residential size, it shows the residential size and what policies are in there and what your average land value is, which they say is going to be quite important. To attract people.
I see. It says
and tourists.
€39 a meter. Looks like a cent icon, but
I think it's a fake currency.
It is a fake. I love fake currency, so please go ahead and use a fake currency. I like that.
Yeah, it's a fake currency that sort of looks like a euro, but not really.
Yeah, it's a Skyliner. 39 Skyliners a meter square. Good.
Per square meter, yeah. And yeah, it's a really nice feature if you want to kind of check on specific parts of your city and how they're developing, and trying to figure out where your population is coming from. For example, like why your youth population is declining. You can just figure out where it is and then try to fix it. The other thing they did show that they highlighted are policies. Now, policies are not district bound; they are actually city bound. but it gets a bit more complex than that. You have citywide policies, which you go to the policies button, it turns it on, you can set the policies for the entire city, or you can create district-specific policies by creating a district and then clicking on the district and then clicking on policies and then picking the policy you want.
Right, and I really like the kind of policies that you can find here. I saw many people going nuts on the pet ban one, but I think it's just great that it's like an option, even if that's not what you want to use. Maybe somebody does want to ban pets, and I think it's good that they're letting people to decide that, or smoking ban, or how water usage and stuff like that. It's something that I said that it's really important in the city builder, and they sort of seem to forget about this kind of stuff, but these guys didn't, and I like that.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, you do have cities where in parts pets are just forbidden. There's usually in big residential buildings, pets are forbidden. And
I do like the part that because it's bound to districts, you don't have to make the entire city behave as one way. You can just have sectors. That's what's beautiful about it.
You can have the entire city. For example, you can have smoke detector distribution in the entire city because it lowers your risk of fires throughout the city. But you don't have to. You can just, go to the industrial area, do it there, because that's, of course, more likely to, more prone to fires.
Although I don't see,
do it there.
Sorry that I interrupt you, but I don't see something indicated what's the downside of. Oh, okay, I see. So, an example, the smoke detector distribution, it decreases the risk of fires by 25%, but it costs the upkeep is 5 Skyliners a building. So okay, so they show you the benefit and, well, in this case, the cost, but there may be a downside sometimes instead of a cost, I guess. But yeah, okay, that is important, because otherwise I was like, where's the balance in this, But yeah, okay.
Yeah, there is an upside and a downside. A lot of them just require you to spend money to keep them going.
Yeah,
I'm guessing. We haven't really seen details for many of them, but
okay.
It's a nice
tax relief load. The tax relief just lowers the rate by 2%. No upkeep. Okay, I would like to see what the pet ban is. Maybe people get angry or something.
Possibly, I don't know. But maybe the happiness drops. Or grows.
Maybe it goes down, but it's cleaner.
I don't know. We don't know.
Or there is less noise, because they're noisy.
Yeah. Also, the one thing I did forget to mention when I said that they're citywide, you can have something set as citywide, then have it not apply to a specific district. So you can have a citywide pet ban, but select a district where they're not banned.
Right, and you uncheck it there.
Yeah.
Right.
And that kind of covers policies. As before, they've again outlined what the specific industrial specializations for the districts are, which are ore industry, oil industry, agriculture, and forestry. We've talked about these so many times, I don't even want to get into them. And they're pretty self-explanatory.
Yes, pretty much.
Okay, so from what we've seen so far, there's about 30 different policies currently in the game. I think they said in a previous stream they're aiming to about 50 at release time, which would be nice. 50 policies is a nice number, and these are remoddable, so you can always add more of them into the game through the Steam Workshop.
That is interesting.
Or wherever else mods are going to be available. But yeah, there are three different tabs of policies. 3 different categories, I guess. The first one is services, which is the ones we just said, like power usage, pet bans, smoke detector distribution, park and recreation, what else? Smoking ban, I said that one. Stuff like that.
Free public transport. Wow. Utopian-ish.
Very.
Very nice. I like that.
The second tab is taxation, and basically what taxation is you can either use it to raise taxes in that district or lower taxes in that district. If you want, for example, encourage building growth in a district, you might lower taxes so more people move to that district. If you have a booming industry in a district, you might want to raise taxes in that district to get more money out of it.
Sounds good.
Basically. And the last one is city planning, I think. Yeah, it's city planning,
Yes.
which encourages certain things in certain places. So you can have an industrial area which encourages small businesses or encourages big businesses like big factories, gigantic,
Right.
multinational corporations or something.
And that is pretty much how you can define if you want high density or not buildings in some areas, like with the high-rise ban, in example.
Yeah. Yeah, you have
That's
the
how you
high-rise
do it.
ban. You can those buildings will only go up a few floors and then they won't be able to grow any more beyond that. So
Right.
so you know that you can create this kind of I guess American style of a downtown where there's a big gigantic skyscrapers in the middle and then it slowly gets lower as it goes out.
Right. Yeah, and this is why, like, that's what I was saying. This is such a core feature of the game because you control so many aspects of the game with, or the city with the districts and then the policies, or at least policies, if you may. Because this is how you said, how density is going to work, or even stuff that we never even thought of, like high-tech housing and stuff like that.
Yeah, which we don't know what it means, but
Yeah.
it sounds exciting.
I'm guessing it's like, I don't know, they have solar panels in their roofs, they're efficient, they use less water, something like that. I'm guessing, something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, the thing with the high-rise ban is this is basically how you create middle density. Because
Right.
we only have low density zoning and high density zoning. And this
Right.
is basically how you kind of create middle density. And they said they're doing it this way from the beginning, and which I'm okay with. I actually prefer this to, having the additional medium density zone.
I'm not sure from the usability standpoint because it's not intuitive, but I guess it makes sense to say that isn't. I mean, that's how it's. I think what they're doing really, instead of doing it from the game design standpoint, they're going from the okay, how does it work on a real city? And in a real city, you don't zone, naturally. You define parameters in a district. Like, actually, where I live, there's no high rises or anything. The maximum floor level is 4 floors, and that is it.
Yep.
That is really how you define it. So I guess, I mean, it makes sense if you want to recreate the experience of designing a city more realistically, without the hassle of it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I quite like the feature. The other one we saw in city planning is heavy traffic ban, which literally just means no trucks in that area.
Right.
No trucks allowed in that area. That's the only thing it means.
I'm
guessing it also affects congestion.
Like, yeah, of course. I mean, I like they can do that, and also like the small business enthusiasts to have more of the small businesses or big business benefactor to promote one large Walmart, if you may, or something like that.
Yeah,
and that's what I love, because building a city, part of it is defining the behaviors of the city, and the fact that this is moddable will allow other people to come up with other stuff that one would like to control on the behavior of a city. So this is huge. Actually, I love the policies and districts feature because it's something that every other city builder didn't get right, and they're getting it right.
Yeah. There's one I really want in there, which I hope someone will mod in as quickly as possible, and it's pedestrians only. So you can create that kind of feel of an old city center where you only have pedestrian traffic.
Oh, it would be nice if they would actually walk through the roads instead of the sidewalks in those areas.
Yeah, or
That'd be nice.
Allow pedestrians and delivery vehicles, because you kind of need deliveries if you have commercial areas.
Well, yeah, I guess some part of the game requires pedaling trucks, I guess, and stuff like that, but.
Yeah, but that's one I really like, because we have that in our capital, which is very close to where I live, and I love that part of the old city where it's just pedestrians, and there's shops and hotels and all that stuff, but it's just pedestrian traffic,
right.
And it just creates a kind of it has a place in my heart.
I can see why. And hey, no traffic noise. So
no traffic noise.
That is something that affects gameplay in this
value.
case. So yeah.
Land value.
So yeah, that's
More land value, more richer people, more taxes.
Yeah,
Have to look at it that way. More money.
all the monies.
All the monies. But yeah, that's basically it for the dev diary. It was districts and policies. There wasn't going to be much to talk about. But it is an interesting topic and something I'm very glad they covered kind of early on.
Yes, definitely.
So that's really nice. The other thing that this is just an observation is originally the game was scheduled for release Q1 2015.
And now you can read Q1, Q2 now?
No, but to me personally, it just feels like it's going to be pushed back to Q2. Just
I personally think so
we're still in alpha, and I actually would prefer it that way. If they say, look, we need another development cycle to get this game as good as we want it to be and as bug-free as we want it to be, I'm perfectly fine with that. Paradox did the same thing with Hearts of Iron 4 just last week. They pushed it back to Q2, so it's fine. I mean,
yes,
these are difficult games to do right, and I'm perfectly fine with them taking just a little bit more time.
Yes, definitely. Especially because I really don't want them to release a game sort of quote unquote on the hope that modders will finish it or something like that. I want them to take the time to finish it under their own single vision. And then if I want to play with mods, fine, but don't make me require them because they didn't have time. Take your time. In fact, on the Wikipedia of Cities Skylines, I know it's not an official statement, it's Wikipedia, but it reads Q1, Q2 as a release date.
It might actually say that on Steam now as well. Let me quickly check.
So it's interesting. The way I see it is that, if you remove the alpha tag right now, this is still alpha. It looks alpha. So yeah, take your time, definitely. Don't even rush it. Because there's so much to it.
Steam is currently still saying Q1, so
yeah,
we'll see.
I'm aiming for half a year. That's the way I see it.
Yeah,
but
somewhere probably beginning of summer, somewhere there.
True, your summer.
Summer sells well.
Yeah, that is true. Alrighty, well, I guess
before the summer sales.
That was pretty much it for the districts and policies and the update on the release date. And there's actually a forum thread about release date and sort of saying, hey, maybe you should take more time to add this, and that. And, well, I mean, one of the things you have to consider is that development costs money, and every month you extend it, it gets riskier. You have to have a plan out. So I guess what they really should focus now is just taking all this amazing, insanely amount of features that they have and sort of polishing them up, making them accessible, clear, the graphics, the user interface, everything, like just make a final product and then just put that out there. If they want to continue the development afterwards, I'd be more than glad to have them do that, but they have to focus on that. I think that's really what they have to do. And speaking about community threads, we actually have a couple we'd like to talk about this week besides that one.
Yes, we do.
And do you want to start or do you want me to start?
No, you start. Why don't you talk for a bit?
Okay, I'll do that instead then. So so there's a thread called that I took my eyes on. It's progression. How does it work? And sort of comparing to SimCity, which is pretty much one of the games most of us reference to, in the city building genre, and they're talking like, I'm forced to keep building in what I may want to be a small city to something larger. It's not clear, but an example, I cannot build a high school unless I have 15,000 people, and then, add something to the city hall and something like that. And so they were talking about stuff like that. Somebody else going, it's probably going to be a sandbox mode, but then, not confirmed. And then somebody saying, well, maybe there should be a normal box and a sandbox mode. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to do this, but basically that kind of progression that SimCity 2013 had was pretty much to sort of guide you, hold you pretty much through the entire game, so you don't go ahead and the first day build a nuclear plant, right? And then you just like, I can afford this, and it just went meltdown. Why, right? It's sort of like to guide new players so they can just slowly make the right decisions and then unlock them new possibilities as the developers see fit. And I'm sure that they may do something like that on Cities Skylines. So it's pretty much like an automatic tutorial, if you may. But sometimes it is nice to know you have the freedom, if you really know what you're doing, of just starting off with the right foot, if you know what you're doing again.
We do have... This was shown off on a stream before. Mm-hmm. There is some sort of an unlock mode thing.
Yes.
Where you unlock things as you go. But
how was that called?
Not really... I think
because they didn't make a dev diary about it.
Did they call them monuments? Or
no, that is something you got... Oh, wait. Monument. I think there is actually a dev diary about that.
We did have a dev diary about monuments, but it didn't specifically outline this. But they did show off in a stream that you kind of had to reach a certain population to unlock certain things. And I think one of them was the Congress Center and stadiums and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was in the Outside Connection dev diary, by the way. But there wasn't a specific dev diary about this system.
Yeah, we might see one in the future, but that's something I remember from a stream.
Yeah, me too.
Off the top of my head. So
but
there is some sort of unlock mode that I'm not really sure.
Right?
Was it milestones? I'm not sure.
I think they were called milestones, and those milestones were reached by population, I think. But there wasn't like a city hall being upgraded. It was more like, oh, you have this amount, well, you unlock this.
Do we have city halls? I don't even know.
I think not. I never even think of a city hall actually when I design a city. I put it there because SimCity forces me to, but...
Well, I haven't really seen one. That's a thing.
Yeah. So
in either case, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully they'll release more information about it.
It's not outlined yet to the public, so we don't know much about it. Other than, the milestones. That's the only thing they kind of show, that there are milestones with population and you unlock certain things, I think. But more than that, I don't know.
I'd say that's how they're going to do it. But then it comes again, is there going to be a sandbox mode for... I'm sure you can just enter a cheat that is unlock all. That's it. And then you just... that's pretty much your sandbox mode. If you add $1,000, well, $1 million, there we go. Sandbox mode for you.
Yeah, $1,000 in a city building game.
You're wasting a road. It'd be so sad.
It's like, oh, I built a road.
Okay, I need to cheat more. It cheat every road I want to make. So yeah. Okay, yeah, that is pretty much for that thread. And there was another one that Jan found, and it is quite an interesting topic, and that is triangular corners. And
the thread itself is called triangular corners, although it focuses more on buildings in those corners than the corners themselves.
It's pretty much it.
As we see throughout the world, a lot of intersections happen where roads meet at a corner, not a 90-degree one, but maybe 45 or something. And in most city building games, you get that space, and that space has to be empty because you have nothing in it. You have nothing to put there at all.
Mm-hmm. True.
In real life, this is solved with triangular buildings, and the famous one is the Flatiron Building in New York on Times Square.
Right. There's another one that's really known on Spain, but I cannot remember the name. I have it right here. I saw that building, but yes.
Neither can I. But there's a few examples in this thread, for example.
But it will really come down to the buildings and not... Because, you can make a triangular corner, but the thing is that there has to be a building there to make this effect that they're talking about.
Yeah, we would like to have a building in there. That's basically it. And it is a really nice idea. It happens everywhere. We have a few in our capital, and I'm sure there's a few in the Rosario, and everywhere around the world. Wherever you go, you will see this kind of triangular buildings. And it's just something that's part of a city and doesn't leave an empty space. It's okay if there's an empty space if I can designate it as a park and make a park out of it.
That'd be nice. With poppables.
That would work. I guess that would work, but sometimes you would like a building in there because it continues a row, and maybe you do want to create something like Times Square or what's the one in London? No, it's not Trafalgar. Can't remember. somewhere. It's in West End. But
I'm thinking the way you would implement it as a developer, like it's pretty much like no angle will ever be the same as the other one. So you pretty much need it to be generated live. Now that I think about it, like you have to create the model live and texture it live, sort of like Spore did with its creatures. So you can actually have like the right angle, right? Because you can make like a million possibilities, and then, or I guess you could make just a few and hope they fit, and also the right length, because that's also going to be a factor. So yeah, it's kind of far-fetched, but it's nice that somebody came out and talked about it. Like, yeah, that is a thing, but I wouldn't count on it.
It's a nice thing. I'm pretty sure someone will mod them in.
Yeah, maybe. Well,
as ploppables.
Yes, maybe.
But
yeah, as a ploppable, it would make sense. Yes.
But it's probably not going to be in the core game.
No, this sounds so complex.
It would be a very difficult thing to code in.
Once they make
it's a
procedural
really nice
architecture, they could. But let's focus on the city building for now.
Procedural architecture. We're still suffering from trying to get procedural, worlds in.
Yes.
Architecture a bit more difficult.
Yeah. Oh well.
So yeah, but it was a nice little topic that I saw and thought it was a nice idea and something that we do see. So
yeah, I think it's really nice.
One day, one day we will have wall-to-wall buildings and corner buildings.
Yeah, this is not gonna be in the game. I'm not gonna play it. Nah, I wouldn't care less. But
yeah, neither would I. But it's a nice idea.
Definitely. So yeah, that has been pretty much it for this episode of the Cities Skylines podcast. As always, all of our opinions are ours, even if that sounds redundant. This is not an official statement from Paradox or anything, so if we get information wrong or whatever we say, just our word, don't take it from them. And as always, you can check the Paradox Extra channel. The link is in the description below if you're watching this on SimNation, or if you're watching this on Paradox Extra channel. You can find a link to the SimNation channel in the description below as well. So yeah, I guess that was pretty much it for this week. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. My name is Pablo. That has been the Intellectual Yawn. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Pablo. Thank you.
And we'll see you next time. Oh, this is the most satisfying thing ever. We are God in SimCity 4. Wow, that was loud. Oh, you're gonna eat that, huh? You're gonna eat it. I see. What? Nothing. Okay.
And now she is tossing that salad with her... Stop sticking your finger in your ear! Alright, she's tossing the salad with her earwax.
It does.
It does really well. Okay.
Oh, they're coming for you, Pablo!
Shit,
Run!
Oh, yeah. These road trips, man, are killing me. Anyway, let me know whenever we are recording. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Extended Play. I'm your host, this is Stuart, and that is a fancy, fancy sign. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.